Hi everyone, and welcome back to our online lessons with the academic sequence. How are you doing? I hope you're doing well. Well, stay safe first and keep your health procedures intact. So, we are coming back today with maybe some of you heard about it or some of you not. It's TOEIC. It's a kind of like everyone study TOEFL and IELTS. But it's a good, let's put it this way, it's a high-level sequence of testing. It's not for academic, it's for global workplace. Basically, I will repeat again, it's a kind of like an exam for the global workplace. So some of the companies request TOEFL, while some of the engineering field are asking for TOEIC exam. So basically here, we are dealing with a professional, academic, technical language. So basically we can follow today lesson we're going to cover up the exam details. What are we going to cover up? The format, the tips, and some tricks maybe you need to work with in the exam. Exactly by procedure, one-to-one procedure. So basically, let me tell you something about TOEIC in the first place. TOEIC basically is a technical language. Okay? TOEIC is a technical language. It's actually used for communication skills, which is used for the global, global workplace. And that is the difference between TOEFL and TOEIC. Basically, TOEFL as your level in academic language. But TOEIC is the language that relevant basically with the global workplace. That's why it's needed for you. So basically we're going to go for now for the TOEIC. We're going to cover everything. What is the exam required from you and what are you going to do for tips, the strategy 101 and 105 techniques for all the questions. So before we're going to go again, hi Dylan, how are you doing? A big hi. I can see now all of the people are coming. That's good. So we're going to cover the three main things in TOEIC. Basically, put it this way. We have the main one is listening and reading test. Listening and reading test. By the 2018, which is like 2 years ago, they add speaking and writing test. And I repeat, speaking and writing test wasn't before 2018. It's added after 2018. So previously, people who was doing the exam, they just do it for 2.5 hours for only listening and reading. Now there is a speaking and writing. Basically, it's needed for you in some other, like this is basically, let's put it, is a separate test. Not exactly all the same test. This is one package, this second package, and we get the quick test. The quick test is a bridge, TOEIC bridge. It's what we call it for a specific language for a specific subject. TOEIC bridge is actually, for example, let's put it this way. A person who studies as a nuclear energy. Now, TOEIC bridge is specified for that field of a nuclear language or a nuclear energy. Now, this is how it's work. If it's need from you, for example, TOEIC bridge specialized exam, like some of the banks, they request, not TOEFL, and I faced one of my students, they asked for TOEIC specify in banking. Now, that language, they not go for TOEIC listening and reading, they will go for TOEIC bridge. So this is called the specific details of each exam. Now, before we're going to go ahead and we're going to start, I will ask you a few questions and you will see how it's work. For example, in TOEFL questions, we're talking about generalized academic language. Okay? Like, for example, the volcano eruptions is caused by the earthquake and the sea. Now, this is an academic, more natural language we are using. But when we are going for example, the volcano eruptions causing the fluctuations of energy in the factories around, this goes more at TOEIC level, more as a technical language, because we are to go for more in technical, not academic. So you're going to say like, okay, both in this case, both are required, TOEFL and TOEIC. That's right. But TOEIC more specific in your field, in your technical field, in a global work. Yeah, it's actually the communication skill. The communication skill in a global workplace. So that's the difference between TOEFL and TOEIC. Don't mess up, guys, because really some people, and I saw many students, they are mixed up between TOEFL and TOEIC in many terms. We're going to cover the procedures and we're going to go for it. Yeah. So basically we're going to go for now what are the program consist of. Stay with me. Now, my dear friends, we're back here again to the details of TOEIC exam by the 2020 format. We're not talking about the old format. We are going to talk about the 2020 format, the new updated format by April. And I'm saying by April, there is a new updated format for the test. So we're going to follow the three. So first we will have by the sections here, and you see it here by the sections. First, we're going to go for the listening and reading, yeah? And will be duration 2 hours and a half, like 2 hours, 30 minutes, yeah? And we got 200 questions, objective type, and there is no negative marketing here, so be ready for it, because this is the part that, well, the traps are coming. And we got to speak and writing an hour and 20 minutes. And as I said, this is separate exam. This is not including when you register for the package is different. This one is one package, while this one is the second package is different. And third one, what we call it the bridge test, or the specified communication for a specified subject test. This is like an hour and 30 minutes. So we get like 200 questions, which is actually for you is like you're going to be you know, 200. And we got 19 questions, which is so easy. It's not hard. And we got 100 questions. As I said, some of you will said maybe, as I said here in the chat, some of you are saying it's old. There is some few updates in the procedure. What I mean, not the time, not the details. The format of the questions, it has been changed. So let's put it this way. First, we're going to go for details of the listening and reading section. So we got 45 minutes of listening section. And we got reading section 75 minutes. So plus 30 minutes, what we call it, biographical questions. We're going to cover that up. Biographical question is so easy, nothing to worry about, because it's like I said, one of the riddles. It's a tall thing, but it's a shadow in the light. So basically, it's easy to answer biographical questions within like 5-10 minutes maybe. Yeah. So let's put it with TOEIC speaking and writing format here, which is it's a 11 question of speaking, and had for 20 minutes. Be careful, 20 minutes, and we have like possible 18 to 15 minutes. You know, you give a take. You need to give a spare like 2 minutes at least to check up your answers, just in case. Writing test consists of 8 questions and consumes 60 minutes. By the way, the basic writing tools are needed here. So basically, you need to cover the writing concept, the paragraphs, the introduction, some details of the questions, how to answer is needed here in the question. Now, the bridge questions is basically multiple choice questions, and to be attempted in 1 hour and 30 minutes. And I said, is a skill communication specific questions. And the listening question is around 50 questions, okay, which consumes around 25 minutes. So let me put it this way, folks. All of you here, I think some of you already involved in some TOEIC education here. The time is your enemy number one. And as I see here, remember this in TOEIC, time is like a sword. If you not cut it, will cut you. So what happened here? All the time, if we say 20 minutes, try to cover within 15 minutes. If you say 30 minutes, try to finish within 25 minutes. At least you can give or take 5 to 7 minutes spare time for you. The reason why, because you don't know what you get in surprise as we're gonna go for covering techniques, okay? So basically, we're gonna go by this way. So try to understand when I told you, hey, come on guys, rush it up, it means don't wait till the final 20 minutes. Because for the last minute, and I'm sure most of you face it, you will find a gap of question or to answer in the last minute, and you don't have any more time for covering. So in this case, you need, to give a spare time for yourself. This is one of the technique first. Now, both above sections, what we are talking about in a bridge, listening and reading, okay? It's kind of like education and some work history questionnaire. Okay, it's so easy. But we got two parts here. One is going to be hard. The starting up is hard. But the next one is going to be easy, which is like questionnaire techniques. So it's not going to be that so, complication. Now let's go for a scoring technique. The scoring. First, we got like listening tests from 5 to 450, which is 900. And we got like speaking and writing test is like 200, which is total score is 400. And TOEIC bridge test, which is 180 in total, because it's express test. Let me put it this way. Most of you wonder why is that the high level score, not like, for example, TOEFL 120, not like IELTS score 9. Like the score is different because we're talking about sophisticated technical details. So each tiny details, each word details can give you a score here. That's why the scoring is high. While TOEFL 120 is a specific per question scoring. It's question scoring, not detail scoring. There is a difference between question scoring and detail scoring. That's why we are asking TOEFL is 120 and TOEIC is 990 or plus. So we're talking about here basically how to get over 550 in TOEIC as a minimum. We're not talking about maximum, so of course the full. But as a minimum, we're going to talk about this first. So let's go with the first tips and the procedures here. Now, let's go for TOEIC 500, or to cross the line of 500 line and 550, okay? So, we got the 5 steps and to require the whole strategy of this course, okay? First, you need to understand TOEIC test format, okay? To start your lesson with a simple question, and I repeat in the simple question. Learn the strategy of each part. Practice the strategy and exercise in each part and take a trial test and review yourself. This is 5 steps needed for you folks. But basically, let me ask you a question. Who can answer me this a technical riddle question here? Okay? It's a kind of like a riddle question, but I'm gonna see how you guys gonna react with it. How you gonna answer. The question is, I'm a zero with hero. Find me in every zero. Who am I? Now, if you find this question, it's when you are ready for TOEIC exam. This is a technique that you need to think the word. Of course, the answer is simple. The answer is 0, because I was describing the word 0 here. So this is, I was going around the word to describe it the same in a technical way. Okay? So let's go for the second one. Let's go for the second one. As I said, we will go for now for the listening and reading techniques. So we got 45 minutes, which is cover 100 questions. Part 1 is going to cover photographs. Part 1 going to cover photographs, which is 30 questions. The second question is a response question, which is 30 questions. It's going to see how you're going to respond to the question technique here. So you got 30 questions here. And third one is, conversation questions. You see how you react in a skill format and communication format. Okay? So you get 30 questions here. And part 4 is a short talk, 30 question. Now you will listen here, a short talk, and you're going to answer the question based on that. Now the second part, which is reading section, which is go for around 75 minutes, and I said 75, it's mean you have 60 minutes to finish all the questions and 15 to check because it's reading. And you have 100 questions, for example, which is part 5, incomplete sentence. You need to complete sentence by yourself. There is no choices here. And you have 40 questions to cover that up. Parts of error recognition or text completion. There is something wrong in the text, you need to fix it. Okay, you need to find the errors. Now this you have 12 question. Now here is the stuff where the trick will start. Here is the stuff where the trick will start. And the most important, I see here, most of the students and people, fall off in part 6, which is error recognition or text completion technique. Now, number 7 is reading comprehension, which is 48 questions. By the way, look to this one. Reading comprehension is easier than error recognition, which is only 12 questions. Now, this part is a bit like, you say just 12 questions. Why is like so hard? Now, basically, the error recognition is not that easy. Sometimes there are some tricky grammatic forms. And sometimes there are tricky proverbs forms. We are using it. So when you'll not have a big load of vocabs, a large load of vocabs. In this case, you will have a problem to understand and recognize the text here. So this, we need to concentrate on this part, because where all the mistake happen is in part 6. And honestly, during, almost 6 years in TOEIC test and see all the questionnaire and answer, I saw most of the, I don't know what's happened here, which is there is something with the communication and is keep disconnecting all the time. I don't know what's happened here. This is the second time happened with me. That's very weird. Okay. Now we will back to the fold. Let me check the viewers here, my dear friends. Let me check the viewers here. And please update me if there is any more questions. Now let's go for photographs part 1. You will learn 5 strategies to get the highest score in part 1. First, you got 10 questions. The pause between a question is 5 seconds. And I mean, the pause between the questions is 5 seconds. Now, for each question in this part, you will hear 4 statements about a picture in your textbook. So when you hear a statement, you must select one statement that the best describe what you see in that picture. Remember, 4, choose one. Okay? Then find the number of the question in your answer sheet and mark the answer. So remember, you have 4 to answer 1. Okay? The statements will not be printed in your test book at all. It will be only spoken one time. So you need to concentrate on to get the question exactly. Okay? So first, and I'm telling you one of the tricks here is the called what concentration tricks. It's happening all the time that there is something with the concentration technique that you forget to hear, like some questions. Basically, I want you to do this trick. Close one ear, and listen in one. This will put the focus only in one ear so you can easily understand all the questions. Okay? Now, if we go for a sample question here. Let's go for sample question. I want you to take a look on the picture here. I want you to take a look on the picture here. Okay? And tell me on a group chat here what the picture describe here. What the picture describe. What the picture describe here. What you can see in this picture. Could you describe it again? And by the way, you see in the pair in the sheet, you see A, B, C, and D, and you don't know what is the B, and C, and D because you need to listen the statement first. So what do you think? What is the picture describe? Write it to me in the group chat, please. I see here we got like some users who was interesting to go ahead. Okay, since no one is writing down, I will write the answers myself. I will write the answers myself. First, we will go for a sample question here. Look here. You will hear by the first picture, look at the picture marked 1 in your textbook, and you can see the picture. And you see A, the woman is strolling along in the street. Okay. B, the woman is checking the schedule. Okay. C, the woman is holding her wrist. Okay. The woman is boarding the bus. Okay. Possible you get the answer, like I see Dylan here, she says she's waiting for the bus. A woman is waiting for something. Yeah? Okay. This is what you think like TOEFL, guys. Now, this is like TOEFL, guys. Look exactly what I described. What I said here, I want you to look to the technical part of the picture, not the picture. Now, this is the trick here. I want you to look to the picture here. Look here. Look at the picture mark 1 in your textbook. Now, what is the weird thing in this picture? What is the weird thing in this picture? The weird thing in this picture is that the woman is holding her wrist. Which is general thing. She is waiting in the bus stop. That's correct. She's boarding the bus. You know, checking the schedule. Something. She's waiting something. That generalized. I don't want that. Now this is all of you again mistaken here. I want you to look exactly to that strange thing in the photo. What can get your eyes on? So what you get in eyes that she's holding, you know, her wrist for some reason. Now this is the technique. You know, this is the technique how you will answer the question. The technique how to answer the technical question is to look to the technical part of the question or the skill part of the question. Find the strange thing in the photograph. Find the strange thing of the photograph and mark that one, which is C, the woman is holding her wrist. You understand me now? If yes, say yes. If you understand me, say yes. If it's okay. Okay. Now let's go for another training. Another one, which is we have covered the strategy now. Now, first strategy. Use your time effectively. Don't listen to the explanation at all. Don't listen to it. Look through picture before answers are spoken. Listen to each answer and mark the answer on your answer sheet. You know, so sometimes after you listen, the correct answer, of course. Okay? So let's go for number 4. Look at the next picture before the next answer are coming. See, you have time. So you click next and look to the next picture and before listening to the answers, okay? So let's go for strategy 2, okay? By the way, you see in the picture some Japanese here because I use this training for Japanese people sometimes. So that's why, you know, I use it sometimes with a Japanese student to teach them for TOEIC. So that's why we are using some Japanese language. Okay, so strategy 2, if there is a person or people, okay, check where they are, who they are, and what they are doing. If we look to this photo, there, we got subject, who they are. Woman, man, doctor, nurse, you know, child, children. And we go for verb, what they are doing. And check the place where they are. Now, if we cover the 3 points, where and who and what, in that photo, we know exactly the answer. You know? We know exactly the answer, how it's work. You know? So this is the second strategy. Remember it. Everything is in your mind. Remember, everything is in your mind. And when you look at the picture, first describe where is the picture, who is in the picture, and what they are doing. Now, if you cover the second strategy here, you are like, put it like 20%, it's good. 20%, you are going up for the next step. Okay? By the way, this is only part 1. This is not the general details of the exam. We're talking this only by part 1, folks. This is only part 1, the photographs. Now, by these photographs, we're going to go for it, and we're going to explain. So this is strategy number 2. If everyone understands strategy 1 and 2, tell me to go for strategy 3. If you understand it, tell me. If you understand the strategy 1 and 2, tell me to go ahead. If it's okay? So, I see from the messages, okay, Dylan, let me ask you something. What are the strange things in this photo behind me? What is the strange thing in this photo behind me? What do you think? Okay, the woman is juggling on the sand or the seaside, but where is the strange photo here? If we took the step of number 1, what do you think? Describe what is the strange thing in this photo behind me? Come on, tell me. The woman possible on the sand, okay, but possible. What else? Something strange. Something strange. Who can give me the answer here? What is the strange things in this photo? Well, we will get back to it later if you want to. Keep looking. So, let's go for strategy number 3. The step number 3 to answer part 1. Okay? Well, Dylan? Exactly. Exactly. Black dress in a hot weather. It's actually a comedy style lesson, but it's perfectly one. What is the odd thing that you're wearing black in a hot weather? You know, that's what is the odd thing. You have to think about it. Yes, that's correct, Hassan. The black dress in a hot weather and glasses. This is a bit like awkward, you know, when somebody jogging near the sea. So this is where you can find the answer, you catch it, that we call it, it's a bit look weird. Well, thank you, Sevda. Okay. So let's go for the next strategy here. Strategy number 3. Okay? Don't be tricked by similar pronounced words like fold, hold, copy, coffee. Remember, when you listen to the statements, okay? When you listen to the statements, you see, okay, give me a coffee with the copy, for example, and some details, and you get confused. Like, is he say coffee or copy? Don't get the tricked by similar, because there are some traps in the statement, which is actually repeat similar words, pronounced word, the same sound. It's come to you as the same sound. Okay? Look to the question here. This is the photo behind me, yes? The water is on sale today. The woman is sailing across the water. The woman is selling the boat. The woman is saving someone on the water. So this is what has come to you as a statement. It's come to you as a statement, and you have to choose only one. Only one. Now, remember, what you see the strange thing, what you say strange thing is the most accurate thing. Remember this. So, and the word, for example, sail, sailing, sailing, saving, it's similar pronounced words. You have to, separate them. That's why I told you, one of the tricks that you use for the listening for the statement, close one ear and listen by one. Why is that? Let me tell you one thing. During this technique, I discovered many students passed from 700 to 800, and one of them, some of them is my students. And they already get 850, very high. Why is that? Because I told them to do this. And basically, they close one ear and they concentrate on one. Why we have problem with that? Basically, there is something what we call vowel sound or tango voices. So for example, we say fold and hold and coffee and copy and this one. Yeah? So basically, the sound itself is give you the same, confusion in your mind, because you have two parts of brain active. But if you concentrate on one, the vowel sound will go in a straight tone. No, this is the trick that you understand the exact words, what they are saying. In exam time, it's better for you to close one ear and listen one, and during the statement process, you'll exactly listen and you will get the meaning. Now, the example questions here is, who is answering the question? Bayram, he said see women is selling the boat. Okay, I asked for the strange one, what you see in the picture. That's different. Yeah. So let's go for strategy number 4. Strategy number 4. Essentially said B. Dylan said B. Yeah? Sevda said B. And the answer is B. You got, okay, the answer. Okay, wonderful. Okay, let's go for strategy number 4. Let's go for strategy number 4, okay? If there is only one person in the photo, the answer usually describes that person. Remember, now slowly we're gonna go for specific details. Look carefully at place, the occupation and action of the person. Person belongings, as I said, what they hold, what they wear, everything. The person is putting on shirt. The person is wearing a shirt. Okay. There is a difference between the person is putting on the shirt and the person is wearing the shirt. There is two different meanings here. So you have to understand exactly the description of that person. Okay? And you need exactly to follow up. For example, if we go back to 1, okay? What you said, all of you B, and let's put it as a basic answer, possible yes. What he's wearing, or in the photo here, what she's wearing, yeah? Okay, what she's put on here. Okay, what is that? For example, what is that? You have to go to describe some details. Okay, and listen carefully to the modifying words. For example, the person is holding the vase with both hands, and I said not with his hands, with both hands. So remember, if she is selling, how she hold the vase with her both hands. For example, if when you see a photo of person with a vehicle, and by the way, for Japanese language, the vehicle word is mean this in Japanese. I don't know how they call it. So check her position. Okay. Like for example, is the person trying to ride on a car, already sitting in a car, or just standing next to a car, that there is a different description of the photo. Okay, so this is how it's work. Okay, so we cover already 4 strategies here. Let's go for a practice. Okay, before I go for practicing, everyone understand the way the strategy, the four strategies here? Everything clear? If okay, say yes. If okay, say yes. If it's okay, say yes. We will go ahead for the practicing. I think there is a time frame between, here and there. So I think the answer is basically yes, everyone. So that's, I hope so. Ah, Dylan, she answered. That's good. She said yes. Zainab also, she said yeah. Okay. So let's go for the practicing here. Look at this photo. Look at this photo now. Now try to get the strange thing in this photo. Who is this guy? Where is this guy? And what they are wearing, and such tiny details. Okay? Now, you already get the picture here. Now, let's go for the statement. Now, look to the picture here. Okay? Look to the picture. So, what do you think is the answer? A or B or C or D? Which one? Hassan said C. Nuria said D. What else? Okay. Some of them said D and some of them said C, right? Like Lail, Emir, and Nuria, I hope I say it, yes. Okay. Of course, C. Zainab, she said, okay, a man is in a sweater is reading a book under a tree, or a man with a white trouser is standing under the tree. Okay. Dylan, where is the standing here? Come on. Dylan, where is the standing? You're choosing D. Standing? He is sitting. Yes, he is sitting. So, here is very easy. And we are just practicing, by the way. We are just practicing. This is not the real questions, by the way. This is not the real questions of the exam. We are going by strategy steps, okay? Of course, it's C. Thank you, Hassan. Because the man is sweater reading a book under a tree. Okay? We're describing the sweater, not the white trouser is standing under the tree. That's a different. Okay? So, Don't concentrate. Again, Sevda, she said, Sevda, she said C, of course, yes. Wonderful, Sevda. Now, let's go for the next strategy here. Okay? The next one, which is 5. Check the similarity, differences, and position of people. In case of photo that came to you in the exam, it has different people. Exactly as in white trousers are just a trick. That's what I meant here. Wonderful. So now strategy number 5, check the similarities between differences and position of people. Okay? In case you have different people, different details. Okay? So for example, look to the photo behind me here, the photo behind me. And they are wearing suits. Only the composer is standing. Look, there is different thing here. Okay, they're wearing black suits, and the composer wearing gray suit, and he's the only one standing, and they're all sitting. So there's differences here. Check their position, for example. Are they in a line or not? Are they in a row or not? Are they sitting in a circle or not? Are they facing each other or not? Now this is how things work. I need you to think in this way, okay? This how you goes with the, checking the photo details. In case of group photos, for example, you need to check and see. Now this is the group photos here. You need to specify, are they in line or in the row or in a circle, or they're facing each other, or they are in a queue in case you see people walking or in a queue for something. So you need to check the position detail and differences, similarities between them. Okay? Don't forget that. Now, this is strategy number 5. Let's go for a practice here. Look, now we have two photo. We have two photo. Two person, one photo. 2 person, 1 photo. Now see the difference. Are they in line or in a row? Who are they? Where are they sitting? What they are looking at. So here you need to specify the details. If you look to the photo again, if you look to the photo, practice 1. Okay. Now look to the picture, okay, and I will go here. What they are doing exactly? They are holding the mouse. Okay, they are looking at the computer screen together. They are putting on their glasses because, see, there is something, they are share similarity and differences. The woman has her arm around the man's shoulder. Okay, which one is correct here? Which one? And remember, we are concentrating on the something strange, or something similar strange here. What do you think? Okay, Beza, she said it's B. Yes? They are looking at the computer screen. This is basic thinking. I need you to go more specific thinking. This is basic thinking. We can see both of them looking to something. So possible B, possible? Which one? Dylan, which one? Possible B, possible? Come on, somebody give me an answer here. B or? No, Mackenzie, no. It's not A. It's only one person holding the mouse. Now I want you to review the trick that we studied before. The trick that we are using to answer the questions. Now all of you look immediately of D is wrong. Okay. Okay, let me tell you, SN is right. The woman has her arm around the woman's shoulder. Where is her arm around his shoulder? Do you see that? Maybe she put it in the back, not around his shoulder. Yes, listen. Look to these tiny details. Maybe the woman's arm is not around the shoulder. You don't see anything here. So, D is out, right? D is out. They are both looking to a computer screen together, okay? So what is the odd thing here? We are both looking for something, right? I mean, what is the odd thing here, basically? Okay, listen, what they are similar here, what the similarity and differences between them. They're both looking to, you know, at the screen, right? Okay, but we forget, we consider what they're wearing. Look here, remember the tip 1 and tip 2 and tip 3. What they are wearing here, what they are wearing. So, you find the answers by look at them, not what they are doing, what they are actually, how they are looking. So basically, you see, they are looking at the computer screen. Okay? Nuria say, okay, Nuria say glasses. So you see the old man and the woman, they both putting on their glasses. Okay? So this is the way how they use it. Okay? So I will leave it to you folks, because we will have to think about it, which one is correct, B or C. Now let's go for the strategy number 6, because of the time frame we have. Now don't select the answer which describe a person or a thing which are not found in a photo. Now imagine before the photos, we take like a person, 2 person, 4 person, possible. Now if there is a thing, here, look to the photo here. The bed is being made. Okay. Incorrect answer if there is no person in the photo, because it should be has been made. The correct answer, it has been made. Okay. There is a picture on the wall, but there is no picture on the wall. So check the place, what kind of place it is, what the features can be found there, and how things are positioned. So we put here, and remember, find the strange thing in the photo. Okay? This is a strategy number 6, in case if there is no people at all, just things. Okay? So in this case, you need to figure out what you have to do. Okay? And try to find the correct position for each item in that photo, because this is kind of like a technical skill. Now, strategy last one, which is number 7, before we go photo practice and testing. Be careful with answers which require your imagination. By the way, this is one of the traps. This is a trick here. The people are about to leave. The people are going to take a flight. Okay? Now, if you see both photos here, okay, you cannot identify past future situation just looking at the photo. You can. You can. So I must describe a present progressive tenses. Remember this. As a grammatic in the ABCD, the answer should be in a present time on progressive tenses. You're welcome, Zainab. You're welcome anytime, dear. Now, however, sometimes using past perfect can be the answer. Okay? Remember, one time when we describe the prefixation, we get like the past, and the past of the past is a past perfect. So sometimes, in case, for example, the trees have been cut down. So the trees cannot be cut down by itself, like somebody did it. Yeah? So the helicopter has landed in the park. So it can't be by itself. There is like a pilot, logically. Okay, so you have to think about it. The bed has been made. The bed cannot be made by itself. So there is somebody who will do it. So remember, such questions, some like using in past perfect, are also correct. Because when you look at it, okay, the helicopter has landed in the park. Okay, then there is a pilot. It means when we look to the photo, there is a pilot there, or should be pilot. So be careful from this trap here. Basically, all the time you can't predict the answers. What you see in the photo in front of you is a present and a present progressive tenses. So basically, you'll find it in this way. Okay, this is how it's worked. Let's go, by the way, for the practicing here, folks. Now this is a practice one. A vehicle in an accident mode. Yeah? A vehicle in an accident mode. So, my dear friends, now what is the vehicle in an accident mode here? Now look to the photo. Look what is strange. The location, describe, get your time, okay? And let's go for a practice one. If you look at it, which one is correct? Which one is correct? Nuria said D. Nuria said D. Zainab said A. I don't know. Who said C? Now let's think about it in a different way. A car has run over a crash barrier. Okay. Okay. A car has smashed through a wall. Okay, there's no wall here. A car has run into a crash barrier. Some cars have damaged a crash barrier. But look here, there is no S, like if you look at it. Okay. So D is not possible. Yeah? B is not possible. Yeah? So we got either A or C. Yeah? So which one is correct? A or C? A or C here? Run over or run into? Which one is correct? Run over or run into? Dylan, she said A, and Aaron said also A, which is actually run over. Yeah, because it's actually not run into, because you see the car is actually on the edge here, not through the edge, on the edge here. So it's run over. Okay, Zainab, let me tell you something. Look here. Okay, it's this part on the screen, this part on the screen, this part. Is it over or into? This part on the screen, is it over or into? We are talking about run over, and run into. So here's the thing. When we say over, it's different. When we say run over, it's different meaning. Remember the paraphrase here we're using. So my dear friends, this is one of the practice. We're going to take some break for 5 minutes, and we're going to continue afterwards with the practicing some details in part 2 and part 3 of the practice. I will see you again in 5 minutes. Stay in touch. Welcome back again to TOEIC exam, and we are back again with the questions and technique and strategies. Of course, today we will not have, enough time to cover all the techniques that we needed, all the details that we needed. I hope there will be a next lesson to cover up all the strategies and techniques. Now let's go for part 2. Now first one we covered for the part 1. Part 1 was a photograph and find the statement and find the answers for it. Now part 2 here, okay. Hi Dylan, hi again dear. So basically we're going to talk about part 2 question response. And there are 5 strategies. I want you to look at it in deep before we go for strategy 3 if we have time. Let's go for part 2 details. Now part 2 details is basically 30 questions, and pause between each question is 5 seconds. Remember, 5 seconds. That's crazy, but it's happening. That's a fact though. So what happened here is like you get 5 seconds to think quickly what is the answers. Okay? You will hear a question or a statement and 3 responses spoken in English language. Of course, not any other language, it's TOEIC. Come on. Now, that's very weird text here. So, they will not be printed on your textbook and will be spoken only one time. So you have the power to listen that, and you need to concentrate on which answer you're going to work with. So, and mark the letter, of course, A, B, C, D in your answers. Okay, so we got A, B, or C. Now we got this technique. I want you to remember one word in this technique, okay? It's challenge. The part 2 here is basically a challenging questions, easy challenging questions, and all the time the challenge looking for, an answer that not available in the text or not available in the statement. I want you to remember this. The word challenge basically is work with part 2 of the exam. Now let's go for the strategy one by one. We got sample questions here. Okay? Let's put it this way. What time do you think you'll be able to finish the work today? So look to the question and look to the answer. It's a bit like you think it's easy question. You think it's easy question. But basically it's a challenging question, because they ask you what time do you think you'll be able to finish work today, and let's say around the corner. It's basically a slingshot, not around the corner like in the corner on the straight alley. Around the corner, it's a slang language mean in a short time, but it's not the right answer. Yes, I can make time for that is not correct. No later than 6. Since there is what time, it means there is a number. Remember, everything connect with this one. Okay? So let's go for second question. Okay? Answer the sample question here. What do you, pancakes or toast with that? Well, here I think I'll go with the pancakes. It's better toast, or I can't take it anymore. So both are incorrect. Okay? Because here, would you like pancakes or toast with that? Look to the question. Would you like? It's not describe, it's would you like. So the answer, of course, C, I think I'll go with pancakes. So that's a bit different. Not yes, it's better toasted, because the question is what would you like. Now the previous one, if you look at what time and would you like, there is easy questions. Basically it's very easy, but it's challenging because we are using specific techniques of the question and answer. Okay? Now if we go for question 3. Now here remember, you're not still hungry, aren't you? Is like a positive odd questions technique. So here you say, yes, I do. Okay. Here it's when you already have eaten, already full. So maybe it's asking you, do you want to still want to eat or not? So here, for example, if you say, yes, I do, it's been, come on, guys, are you just like over? Or, what made you think I was angry? Well, they're talking about hungry, so B is the easy question. Okay, of course. Now let's go for another question. This is part of the, by the way, it's so simple questions. And you say, why is so simple question technique? We will go for it now. Okay? How come you haven't taken your summer vacation yet? Okay? I think I'll probably fly. It's not related. No, I still have most of my vacation days left. Not related also. Because how come I'm in charge of a really important project now? Because you're asking for the reason. So remember, the main question is to find out, the first one of the tips in part 2 question, is to find out the beginning of the question. The beginning of the question. Look here, how come? You are not still. Would you like? Okay, what time do you think? Now, all of them start with a specific question which requires specific answer. That's what I need from you to look at it on part 2. Okay? The same thing with this answer question. Okay? Why don't we have Korean food tonight? For a change. By the way, Korean food is so delicious in some point. I like it. Well, sounds good to me. There really no need to change it. Okay? So, there's a question here. Why don't we have a Korean food tonight? It's a question, so it sounds good to me. So that's a question, how to look at it and how to answer. Now let's go for the 6 strategies of part 1. Now you saw the basic. Basically it was like a TOEIC questions, and it's so simple to understand how to answer. But let's go for more strategy, because trust me, in the exam you will see a different questions that just want to show you the beginning, how to start to understand what is the answer. Now, all the time keep your pencil on the mark sheet, slide the pencil. This is of course the marking sheet technique to save time, okay? And mark the answers in immediately when you listen to the correct answer. Remember this. Like, don't wait, don't think, because the time is against you. You get 5 seconds, and the 5 seconds is most dangerous here. It's really 5 seconds. Now, strategy number 2, pay attention to the first word of each question. As I said, remember, pay attention to the first word, okay? Listen carefully to the first word of the question. Finish marking your answer on your answer sheet before the last answer C is read. Hi, Levent, how are you? Okay? Don't think too much about the previous answers, because time is against you. Time is against you. If you cut it, it will cut you, like that. It's simple. Okay? Now, don't think too much about previous answer. Whatsoever, what happened, happened. Keep going. Because as soon as you think you lost the track, and you will not answer any more further questions. Remember this. The type 2 question is basically, whatever happened, it's happened. You know, don't think too much about the previous answers. Keep going. When you're ready, listen to the first word of the next question. Be ready for it. That's it. When say C, be ready for next question, because you get 5 seconds, and you don't have a time to think about the previous questions. Now, strategy 3: avoid keywords. Avoid keywords, because all the time the keywords is a problem in part 2 exam. Answer including keywords. The same word, similar pronounced word, which is read conversation, are traps. They avoid the keywords. Don't listen to the keywords. For example, may I take your order? I will have achieved special place. I think this is out of order. Yes, I ordered a book from the publisher. Remember, when it's repeating the word, that's the key. Avoid. That is the trap. Don't go for that answer. Okay? So avoid keywords, because in part 2 all the time is go for the odd words, not keywords. Remember. And this, by the way, you ask me now, why we think about keywords? Basically, like some people taken in TOEFL, if we talk about TOEFL exam, okay, keywords is important in IELTS. Keywords is important. Why not go for keywords in this case? The reason why, okay, is of course A. The reason why, as I said, that is a skill and communication relevant to global workplace. That's not an academic knowledge. No, academic, yes, there are keywords all the time. But as a skill and communication, you don't go for keywords in some point, especially in skills with the global place. So that's why part 2 try to avoid keywords here. Okay? Now, strategy 4, okay? Choose an appropriate answer for WH questions. Now, basically, we have start with when, where, who, why, what, how. Remember, WH, this one means appropriate in Japanese language, in case you want to write it down, which is hard and mission impossible for me. So, the answer will be when, it's mean date and time. Where is go for a place. What time is the meeting start? Yes, I think so. It's of course incorrect. You see, of course is incorrect here. So remember, we got WH questions here, okay, and we got to know the answers of each WH questions. We get when, where, who, why, what, and how. The most important part is to go with the answers. When is the date, where is the place, and who is the people, and why is the reason. Okay? Let's go for a practice 1. Let's go for a practice 1. Mark your answer sheet and be ready for practice 1. Okay. Where did you end up going on your vacation? What is the answer here according to the techniques, to the strategies we took before? What do you think? What do you think? What is the answer? For example, for 2 weeks, we didn't go until the end of August. We spent a week at my aunt's cottage. Which one is correct? A or B or C? Come on, Dylan, Levant, anyone? Of course C, because the question was where. So the answer is place. Of course. Since the answer is where, it means there is a place, remember. So by this one, you go ahead. Now let's go for strategy 5. Wonderful. There are common phrases for reply to suggestion, order, and request. And it's all the time happen. Where are some applicants full of the answer to such questions? Okay, let's go for the questions pattern. Okay, why don't you? Would it be possible for you to? How about? And so on. This is called, common phrases for the reply of suggestions. For example, the reply for it is simple. That's a good idea. I would love to. You see the answer with that, that's what reply. Okay? Or the reason why the person cannot accept the suggestion, order, or request. Okay? Now, when you hear, why don't you? Okay? So simple, don't choose because. Remember, that's one of the traps here. You will hear the question, when you hear, why don't you, is actually a suggestion question. It's not asking for a reason. Most of the applicants in the exam answer because of this situation, which is not correct. Okay, don't choose because that's the trap itself. Because the question here comes as, why don't you go for a suggestion? Okay, so everyone, I want to repeat strategy 5 here. Okay, when a question pattern here, okay, why don't you, what is possible for you, how about this, all suggestions phrases. Okay, common phrases for reply, that's good idea, I would love to. Or reason why the person cannot accept the suggestion or the request. Okay? And when you hear such one, don't go for because of, because it's not going to work, it's a wrong answer. Remember, okay? Its most important part is to remember this technique, because most of the students and the applicants, I saw them and I saw many international students really failed and go all the easy direct. Why don't you? And the answer, because of this. It's not the right choice. It's not the right choice because it's a suggestion, not a reason. Remember, okay? Now let's go for the strategy of, some practicing. Look here. Common expressions of suggestion, order, or request. Please, I want you to write down, and I will shift myself a bit here behind me. Suggestion, how about, what about, shall we? Okay, this is a suggestion technique. Now, order, request. Would you, please? Could you, please? I wonder if you can, please? Okay, I'm wondering if you can. I wonder if you could. Would it be possible for you to? Would you mind? Now, all this is a common expressions of suggestion in part 2 questions. Okay? Now, the common response for it is, sounds good to me. Okay? That's good idea. I would love to. Or the request, sure, certainly. Okay? If you are, for example, 100% sure. Sure, certainly, of course, I'll be glad, with a pleasure. You'll find the key answers in the choices when you hear them. Exactly. With this kind. Okay? Sure, certainly, of course, I'll be glad to, with a pleasure. Okay? So try to choose that answer. For example, you get, for example, A, B, and C, and in B is mentioned, okay, certainly, I will do it next week. When you hear the word certainly, that's the answer. When you hear the word certainly, that is the answer. Okay? Remember this. And this is one of the strategy in part 2. Let's go for a practice and let's see how you deal with it. Now, why don't we have some Greek food tonight for a change? Okay. This is a basic question. What do you think is the answer is? What do you think the answer is here? Come on, show me something. What do you think is the answer? A or B or C here? Well, remember what I said, Ebrar, yes, I hope I pronounce it correctly here. Don't go for the keyword. Nursina, hi, how are you? Welcome back. Nice to see you again, dear. Again, why don't we, it's a suggestion, don't go for B because don't answer is wrong. So the answer is C. Sounds okay to me. You know? Remember, the first one, all the time we go, I don't think here, for a change. Now the change become like a keyword. Remember, try to avoid keywords in the practicing here or in the answers. Don't go for the keywords. So since there is a keyword here and there is a change here, so that is wrong. If we go because this is not why we don't like. No, it's actually why don't we? It's a suggestion only. So it's not a reason. Yeah? So the only answer is C. Yeah? This is how I want you to think. Okay? This is how it's worked. Now, let's go for strategy 6. And by the way, folks, thank you so much for subscribing and liking our channel here. Justenglish is the best, trust me. Now, let's go for the answer yes, no, asking questions. See, which one, Ebrar? This one, correct. C is correct. Sounds okay to me. Dalan and Nursina, they answered the questions. Now the answer to yes, no asking questions. Do you, don't they, is not always yes, no. Be careful. Now example, do you like banana? Okay, very much. Okay. Other questions patterns. Do you like coffee? Don't you? Okay. Don't care, don't you? And find choice, which is the answer. Do you like a coffee? Such as yes, I do. Okay? Now, basically, not all the time there is an answer yes or no questions. Be careful. Sometimes we have to answer in a different way. You see the choice is a bit different. Like here, for example. The answer cannot be yes, no, and usually contains A or B. Okay? So you need to understand the meaning of the questions. Let's go for a practice and see what is the change here in strategy 6. Okay? Look here. Do you accept all major credit cards here? Oh, thank you. Thank you, Nursina. Much appreciated. Thank you. Okay. Do you accept all major credit cards here? Now, question is here, look here. Yes, no, right? Yes, no, but it's not yes, no. Don't choose it because your mind go for. Are you sure? Ebrar, are you sure? You choose B. We just talk about it. Don't go for A and B in the answers because that's a trap. The answer is C. Exactly. The answer is C. Do you accept all major credit cards here? In question here, when you say yes, can you give your store credit? No. Because the question is more specific. No, we don't think it's a major problem. No. Here, as when you say yes, no, don't answer. Just go for the third one, which is not yes or no, as long as your total is over $10. So that's the thing. It's actually one of the strategies for the part 2. Don't go for yes or no question. Go for them. Understand the meaning of the question first, because there are sometimes yes, but the explanation is totally different, not related to the answers. Okay? And this is how it's work. For example, sometimes in the States, in New York, when you go shopping and they ask you, do you accept all major credit cards here? You will never hear an answer yes or no. I bet you will hear that. You'll never do that. The reason why they'll say, well, as long as like it's over $5, or also they will not take them for $2, for example, because there is percentage. So they will not give you yes or no question because it's a kind of like major global working thing. That's why you will not say yes, we accept all major credit cards here, except of course online thing. But when you go face-to-face talk, that's different. There is, well, it's okay as long as total is over $10. So now here's the answer. What do you get? This is a live from the street. Like for example, from my neighborhood, from Westwood, people ask you, they will not say yes, no at all. They would have just asked you, well, as long as, and keep going. Okay? Now, let's go for a practice 4. Let's go for a practice 4 for part 2 question. Don't you think you sometimes work too hard? What do you think? Now here is a trap. What do you think? A or B or C? It's so easy to answer, by the way. It's so easy to answer. What do you think? Well, Ebrar said B. As we see, of course, it's B because there is no yes, no answers for such question, because it's a kind of like suggest obligation, you know, suggest obligation technique. And this what happened when you say yes, no, is not related. So try to find the answer which is easy for you. Now, the techniques and the strategy is easy for you, I hope. Everyone understand the practice 1 and 2, right? So everything was easy, right? Or it's hard? Tell me. Is it easy or hard? I try to simplify the TOEIC because TOEIC for some of you may be new as an exam. So I try to make it easy as much as possible. So if it's okay, okay, that's easy, good. I'm happy to hear that you get it as easy, because most of the applicants, they say it's so hard, TOEIC, and it's very difficult. No, it's actually, you need to go by graduate level from easy to hard. Yeah, now let's go for the meaning of the words, a bit practicing. We took part 1 and part 2, okay? So we will continue now with a different form behind me. I'm gonna change that now for a while. Important part in TOEIC is the word, is analyzing the word part. And I have the book which is 600 essential words of TOEIC test. This is the one of the important books. I use it for even teaching TOEICs, is to analyze word part, where it's come from. For example, when you go for here, for example, regenerate, happen a second time, okay? Curricle, around, TION, the act of, okay? And repeating the act of motion in circular path, for example, recirculation, okay? This is a prefix, root, suffix, and word, for example. For example, again, prefix, happen for a second time. Regenerate, regeneration, like that. Same, we get prefix, roots, suffix, and word. Now this is for you maybe a bit hard, but slowly you will get more easy with it to understand the word in the exam. We will have to go for recognize grammatical forms. Geometrical, I'm teaching GMAT. By the way, we also will provide GMAT and SAT exams, and soon, and we will teach also English and math in some part for the SAT and GMAT for some students who request that. I'll teach that, by the way. So, thank you also so much for helping us and following us and be with us in this lesson. I'm glad to see you folks here. Now, recognize, okay, the words here. I'm gonna zoom in here for a second. Now, comparison. Now look here. Deliver, look to the word. Okay? Look to the word. Independence, for example. MNT, government. Okay? You need to go for the prefix to understand what is the meaning. Okay? For example, ER is coming from teach, so teacher, like me, for example. OR, duct, doctor. like this. They recognize the grammatical form of the questions in the, adjectives or adverbs. It's more important part in TOEIC. It try to understand it so easy. Let's go for more practicing here. Okay? For example, recognize word families. To care, care, careful, carefully. To attend, attendance, attentive, attentively. You see how we are using this part of words is very important in TOEIC because it's changing the meaning, how to answer the question, like in part 2 and the listening of photograph, if you get the questions. Okay? So basically, it's the most important part here to understand what you do. Okay? To understand what is the word mentioned. It's mentioned to care or care. If it's careful or carefully. So is it adjective or adverb? Is it, for example, attendance or attentive? No, that's different. The meaning change here different. Is it pointer or pointed? Okay? So when you say, okay, something pointed, it's not this, totally different. That's a noun, that's an adjective. Totally the word change. So the answer change. So I need you to be careful what you recognize with the word itself. Try to catch the words exactly, because this part where the trips are coming, okay, and the traps hit you so hard when you don't understand the word meaning, or you did not recognize the word exactly if it's noun or adjectives. Some of you will say, okay, teacher, it's impossible just to listen one time and that's it, we finish, game over for us. No, folks, it's not game over. Just you need to practice, once, twice, 3 times, and you'll see it's going to be so easy for you. And by the way, I still, this book, 600 Essential Words for TOEIC Test is one of the best for to use this book actually for the word. Is give you the meaning and what you do for the details. Okay? I hope you understand the recognize of the word and how to understand it. Let's go for part 3 training now. Let's go for part 3 training. Now, my dear friends, we have a part 3 training. We got a part 3 training. We got 30 questions. The length between two things is 8 seconds. Okay? The length between them is 3 seconds. Now, you will hear some conversation between 2 people. Remember, you will listen like a radio show or something. And you will be asked to answer 3 questions about what the speakers say to each other conversation. For example, select the best response to each question and mark the letter A, B, C, or D. Now, on your answer sheet, the conversation will be not printed and will be spoken 1 time. Again, remember, you get 1 time, 1 chance, 1 go ahead. Remember. So let's go for sample question. Okay? Let's go for sample question here. Who is this woman? For example, what does the man ask for? Why will the flight will be delayed, for example? And you will find the answers according to your listen, according to the statement or the speech between 2 persons here, the conversation between 2. Now, there are a technique, strategy, how to answer and to find the gaps of each question in part 3. Now, the answer, of course, is a flight attendant, a blanket, the weather is foggy, because you don't know the answer. Look to the transcript here. I'm going to share the transcript. Can I get you anything or drink, orange juice or a coffee? No, thank you. And he asked for a blanket. Okay? And there is a delay because of the fog. So this is what happened. Okay? You will listen exactly this 1 time. So I need you to concentrate on 1 time only. Now let's go for the 3 strategy of part 1. Okay? Now, while you are listening, read the questions. fast. While you're listening, read the question. Identify what information you must get from the question directly. Don't waste your time listening and reading. No, do it together. Mark the answer while listening to conversation for keywords of each question usually comes in order. Remember, the things coming in order by the question. So the speech, for example, one person and the answers, and the questions are coming by step, A, B, C, like that. So there are sequence of questions. Try to finish marking all the answers. Before the second question, don't think about it again. It's like part 2, don't think about it. Just keep going to part 3, okay? Look over the questions for the next conversation using the whole 8 seconds between questions. So you have 8 seconds, you know, and the time is again. Just you can look back and double check quickly within 2 seconds. Okay? Even in this case, you could not finish the last question because you don't have because after the last question there is no 8 seconds. Game over. So you have to be ready for it. Okay? Now the strategy number 2. Imagine the context of the test. Conversation from 3 questions. Who is this woman? Okay. What does the man ask for? For example, I'm talking for example. This is not the real as an exam. Okay. Why will the flight be delayed, for example? So you need to find exactly will ask for something or not. Okay. Some people, maybe they see me, I'm covering the screen here, so I'm going to move myself a bit here. Pop up. I came over here. So, there is the thing. You have to understand what is the speech is talking about. You need to understand who are the speakers, what they are talking about, okay? And there is all the time a reason in the speech. Remember 3, which is not written here. Who are the speakers? What they are talking about. And there is all the time a reason in the conversation here. All the time there is a reason. Okay? In part 3, all the time there is a reason, and that's why is important for you to understand the answer of that reason. Okay? So you covered 3, you can go ahead for the next question. Now, if we go for strategy 3, for example, understand the pattern of the questions. There are some hints in the conversation to solve the type of question. For example, package delivery express. The place is probably a post office, for example. So you have to understand the pattern of the part 3 questions. We have a place, we have topic, and we have occupation. Okay? And when there is general question. And the specific question go for a reason, date, and method. Generally both go under reason, which is the third one, what is they are talking about, and who are they. Okay? So basically we will have first, who are they? Maybe place. Okay? Maybe what they are talking about. We're going to talk about the topic here. And what they are using, what is the reason. So we got 2, either occupation or method here. So we got the 2 pattern of the question here. We got general questions of part 3 and specific questions of part 3. Okay? So don't lose the concentration between separating general questions and specific. And let me give you a hint here, my dear friends. All the time, the specific questions comes with a reason, while all the time general questions comes with, process of life. All the time there is something about ing or continue, present continue in the questions. This is the trick here. All the time, general questions go in a pattern of continue, okay? While the specific questions go all the time for specific like reasons. So you can understand, if you know how is the answer will work, it's simple. Just listen to the statement or the speakers inside the dialogue, and you will understand this is general or specific, because easy. One of them will mention a reason. That's specific question. That's it. It means I will use specific pattern to answer the question. While when there is something about ing, okay, oh, that's a general one. That's a general one. It's mean the general one, I will go for a place, topic, and occupation, and that's it. It's going to be fine. So we got, you know, technique here if there is a general and if there is a specific questions. In both, we have to understand when you listen the statement or the dialogue between two speakers during the exam. And remember, you will listen only once. One time you need to catch everything. So for you, for example, this is going to say probably, it's mission impossible for me, sir. I can. It's like hard for me to catch it in the first time. Okay, try to listen the words here. Try to catch the words here. For example, if you see there is an ing, verb plus ing coming in the speech, oh, that's a general question topic. It's been I can cover up. If there is the answer of one of the speakers saying, well, the reason or because of this delay or something, the reason, it means there is mentioned reason here. It's mean go for the specific question technique. Okay? I hope you understand this is very important here, the pattern of the questions. What are you going to face in part 3? Okay? So if it's clear, please say yes. If it's clear, say yes here. If it's clear, say yes. So we'll go ahead for the next. You're welcome, Alif, anytime. Okay, good. Dylan, you said yes. That's wonderful. Okay. Nisa Noor also, I hope she will say yes. And some of you, Ali and everyone, I hope will say yes. Because this kind of like to understand the technical comprehension of the questions and how you answer. There is strategies and how to get the highest score in TOEIC. We're talking about 500 plus in the TOEIC exam. So when we done all this one on all my applicants, my students basically, who passed over 800, they were using the same techniques I taught them before, and it's basically worked to get the high score as much as possible. Now let's go for review part 3 strategies here. Let's go for the review before we go for, you know, practicing exam. Read the question before you listen to the conversation. By the way, you can write it down. You can write it down, please. You can write it down. Now imagine the content of the next conversation from the 3 questions. Because the situation here is actually continue. Remember, it's continue. It's come by sequence. So basically, it's a continue steps. So the next question you can understand from the imagination of the content, the next question, what is kind of going to come from. It's so easy, simple to answer. Okay? Understand the pattern of the question. That's the most important part. Okay? That is the most important part. If you want, I can put it back here again, and you can take a screenshot if you want. Take a screenshot for this screen, because it's very important for you to understand the pattern of the questions, so to know what is the answers for it. Okay? Now let's go for the exercise. Okay? Let's go for the exercise. By the way, we don't have, you should listen here. You should listen here. But we're going to go for the, I hope for the contest, the transcript. First, I want you to look to the transcript here. Good morning, Mr. Brown. Has your team finished the last quarter accounting report yet? Okay. M said, almost, Ms. Johnson. Ahmed, unfortunately, I don't understand Turkish. If you can write it in English. Thank you so much. So if you look to the question, okay? And you see here, and I already give you with the answer. Okay? I already give you with the answer. You will listen that. You will not read it. You will listen that. Remember, you will listen that conversation, the speech between two speakers, once only. So when you see what are the speakers, remember we discussed about what, yeah, about who, and about the reason all the time. So what are speakers discussing here? An accounting report. Who should give the completed document to? Mrs. Wellesley. What will the man like to do next? I'll call his subordinates on the phone. So here what happened, you need to understand exactly why this who and what and the reason. Or next. Let me ask you something here. This is what kind of pattern this question here? What kind of pattern? General or specific? Who can give me? Nursina, Dylan, who can give me the answer here? I want to know if you remember now the pattern exactly. What kind of the pattern we are talking about here? Is it specific or general? Nursina, Dylan, somebody, Ali. Is it specific pattern or general pattern? Which one is correct? Okay, let's go back to the pattern again. I think you guys forget about it. Okay, here, remember, place, topic, occupation. Now, second one, reason, date, method. Okay, now let's go back here and see which one is work for. General. We've been, sitting on this tunnel for almost 15 minutes. Now, I want you to look at it here, and already we found the answers. We found the answers on the train, arranging a business meeting, a public telephone. Now, tell me, what is it? Is it specific or general pattern here? Is it specific or general pattern here? Burak, Nursina, what do you think? Is it a specific or a general pattern here? Anyone? Give me an answer. Look at it exactly. You have a time. Is it like more general or specific here? What do you think? If you can, give me an answer. If not, I'll give it to you. What do you think? Well, look at it here. Look at it here. We're talking about location first in this tunnel. Important meeting. Okay, important meeting. Now text message to my client to push back. Okay, so everything this is exactly a general. Animert said general, wonderful, correct. Now this is a general idea. So you understand the question because there is a location. Okay, there is a location and there is attending a business meeting and use public telephone. Now all these is go for general here. Okay, not specific. So I hope you understand all the questions and you understand all the techniques. Basically we covered part 1, part 2, and part 3 questions. We have a lot to cover. But unfortunately, due to the time shortage, we have like 2 minutes left. And not enough time to cover the 6th part, you know. Not enough to cover the 6th part, all of it. And I hope it will be a next lesson for TOEIC. We're going to continue part 4 and part 5 and part 6, and plus some guidelines which I'm going to share. We call it interactive guidelines. And more afterwards, we're going to go for technical words. And again, there are specific books for TOEICs, specific books for TOEIC exam, which use also words and vocabs. And I shared it with you before also. I mentioned the 600 TOEIC essentials that needed for you to passing the exam. Okay? If you have any questions, please ask me now, and I'll be happy to answer. I got like 2 minutes left. 2 minutes left, and I'm ready to answer any question. Any questions? No questions? So everyone is okay? That's wonderful. If everyone okay, that's wonderful. So my dear friends, okay, Dylan. Thank you so much everyone today for first lesson for TOEIC exams. We will have the following lessons for TOEIC subjects, and it's going to be, trust me, going to be more harder. This is the easy. We start from the easy, and we're going to go more harder. So I will see you soon, folks. Stay in touch. Stay safe. And important part, keep your health safe and intact. See you soon.